Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer State. This is Coloring Bliss. You can hear my cat Mishka meowing. That's my cute dog Rose behind me, and I'm still in my mobile art studio, and it's a little windy, so if you hear spooky wind, that's what you're hearing. I'm so excited today because I've given myself a difficult coloring challenge, and I'm going to take you along for the ride, and we're going to be using a new favorite gel pen that I've been using lately, and I'm going to push it to the extreme. How's that? I think they even say extreme on the packaging. We'll see. We're going to read the packaging together. I discovered these gel pens a few weeks ago when we were filming the series of how to color with gel pens with our Bliss Partners. There's a 5-part workshop all waiting for you and ready if you've ever wanted to have a whole bunch of tips and tricks and methods of how to get the most out of your gel pens, or have you wanted to try to learn how to color with gel pens. Well, I've got you covered with an awesome workshop series. So during that workshop series, I was at Walmart and I found this package of gel pens. Looks like this right here. They're the Uniball Gel Impact pens. Now the reason it caught my eye is because it featured the white gel pen that most artists love and adore, and I needed a new one. And in the package it had a silver and a gold that I've been wanting to try for a while, so I picked it up. And the silver and gold is epic. I love them. And so I went back to Walmart and I bought 2 more packages for the silver and gold, not for the white, because if you've been around me at all, you know that I've kind of fallen out of love when it comes to white gel pens. They dry up for me way too fast, so I divorced gel white pens and I have married the white Posca paint pen. It's my new true love for white. When I need a white highlight, I go to the white Posca pen because the white gel pens just dry up too fast and it makes me angry. I don't need anger in my life. If you hear laughing, that's my husband and business partner, Steve, the amazing man behind Coloring Bliss that makes everything happen.
Oh, thank you. Hello, everyone.
So if you ever need something from Coloring Bliss, if you order something, if you have customer service, it's Steve. He's the one that takes care of you. So send us any messages that you have. He'll help take care of you. Come and support us. Come on over to Coloring Bliss, become a Bliss partner or a colorist, and enjoy all of the great resources we have for you there. And at the very least, make sure you subscribe and hit a thumbs up on this video so that I know you're enjoying this kind of content. Now let me tell you the challenge I've given myself. I'm actually a little nervous about this. Okay, so let me explain what I'm about to do. Okay, so here's the original 2 pens that I purchased. The gold is almost gone. There's a tiny bit left and the silver is about to here. So I've got a little bit of ink left in the original 2 pens. So that's again why I went back and bought 2 more packages of these pens. And then here in this Canson pad, I want to show you a piece of art that I did with these pens. This is the XL Black Drawing Canson pad. I love this pad. It's so much fun to play in. I recently did a piece of art that I put on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram if you'd like. I post some of my art that I do there. I did this piece here, but this is the piece I wanted to show you that I did back in June. And this one I did exclusively with these 2 pens to kind of see how they play off of each other and to see how they perform on black. And I love how it turned out. They are so opaque that they can lay onto the black and they look beautiful. They come out juicy and bold. They do everything I love from a gel pen. The metallic is pretty good. You can see it catches the light. It's not the most shiny metallic I've ever had, but that's okay. It does pretty good. So when I finished this page, ever since that was back in June, I've been playing with this thought in the back of my head of coloring a coloring page with nothing but these 2 pens. and seeing what I can do. Can I get enough contrast? Can I get enough balance? With just two colors, can I get a gradation in the silver? Can I get a gradation in the gold? Can I balance the colors against each other like I did here and get enough interest on the coloring page? I have a lot of questions, and will I fail and flop? I don't know. Will it turn out like the most spectacular thing I've ever colored? I don't know. So I'm bringing you along with me. We're going to push my gel pen coloring skills today and use only these two colors. We're not going to use the white, just the gold and the silver, and see what I can do. I've got all my tools here with me to help me with my gel pen coloring. One of my best weapons for gel pen coloring is the glycerin. If you've never used glycerin with gel pens, it can be your very best friend. So I'll be using glycerin. It's a vegetable glycerin. I picked this one up in the soap making department at my local Hobby Lobby. It's only $4, and I do think I used a coupon on it, so it was even cheaper than that. And I've had this bottle for a couple years now, and I'm only about halfway down into this bottle, so it lasts you a really long time. It's well worth purchasing because glycerin I use it all the time in a lot of different ways now. It's a staple in my art studio, so that's a good thing to pick up. So, yep, we're going to limit me to just these two colors and do some coloring. Now, last time we were together, I colored in Mandala Bliss Volume 3, which is one of my favorite Mandala Bliss books I've ever drawn because the pictures are big and open spaces with lots of room where you can, this is the one I did with you last week, and it gave us lots of space to do gradations and just experiment and play. So if you're looking for a Mandala Bliss book that gives you fewer details, maybe you have weaker eyes or details make your eyes go crossed, Mandala Bliss Volume 3 may be your best friend. So that's the book we worked in last week. This week, the book that I have my eye on is Mandala Bliss Volume 2. This one I have printed on our mixed media paper. Now, mixed media paper is really good for gel pens. The anatomy of a gel pen is that it has a tiny little ball on the tip of that pen. And in order for that ink to flow beautifully without skipping and all those issues that we sometimes have with gel pens, you need to have a paper with enough texture or tooth, as we say. It's got to grip and grab onto that ball and get it to engage. So the mixed media paper has just enough tooth to do that. We have other types of paper at Coloring Bliss. We've got color pencil paper, we have marker paper, and we have watercolor paper. This is a good in-between paper. Not too much texture, but enough for things like gel pens to be happy on it. So this is a good paper. I love it. So these mandalas are much more detailed. Many tiny little details to fill in. You can really get lost in the details and enjoy yourself. So if you're the type that loves a lot of details, you like to just get in and spend time, and I don't know, sometimes I like to just watch a couple favorite shows in a row and just lose myself in the details in a book like this. Let me show you. I've got one colored right here. Gel pens really lend themselves well to small details because of their tiny little tips on their pen tips. So look at that one shine. It's so pretty. So this is the book I thought I would work in today. I think it will work well for this project. And the page I had my eye on, let me show you. Where did it go? Thumb through it. This one was the page I had my eye on right here. It's kind of loopy, that's calling to me. There's different motifs, but there's still enough room in there that we can kind of play around with trying to get a gradation with these pens. I'm excited. Nervous, but excited. So that's our plan for today. Wish me luck. I'm going to teach you a little bit about coloring with gel pens, but for the most part it's going to be you watching me experiment and learn, and I'll share with you along the way what I learn. So that's the plan. So let me show you the beginning of this book. That we have some swatching room. So let's go ahead and swatch these pens so you can see how amazing they are. This is the package that I got them in. So they're by Uniball. They say Gel Impact on them. Fading, they say protects against water, fading, and fraud. It's a bold 1.0 millimeter tip. That's what I'm always look for when I'm buying gel pens. Are the bolder, the bigger the tip, the better. That means the most ink will flow. And we have a gold, silver, and white. Effortless, silky ink flow. Totally agree with that. Features innovative super ink that protects against water, fading, and fraud. Yeah, so that's what this ink is here. So I've got 2 extra packages. I don't know how much ink this is going to take. We're going to find out. So this is how the silver goes down. Let me get the shot switched over so you can watch just how silky, I think that word, is that the word that they used? Silky, yeah, I think that's a really good word. So I'm going to show you, we can lay it down, we can smear it to get a bit of a gradation. I'm going to play around here a little bit and see what it does. We can do stippling with it. It stipples really well, really like defined circles. It's really interesting. Oh, can you even see that? Oh, there. If I put my shadow up, you can see it. Good. Let's see. It does really good lines. Like if you were to take notes during a class with them, this would be awesome. So this is the silver Uniball. Awesome pen. So I think, yeah, see, we can even smear it out. Does it do a good gradation? That's my question. Now if we come back and do a darker there, do we get dark to light? A little bit, a little bit. Okay, so that's the silver. And then the gold has a little bit of a green tint, but not too bad. Some of the golds I get ever so often are like so green, I just can't stand them. I like my golds to be a little bit on the yellow side. So I wish it was a little bit more. See, that one goes really well. Anyway, I like a yellowy gold. That's my favorite. And there. So those are my 2 colors for my entire coloring page. Silver and gold. I guess black. The line work is black. Does that count as one of the colors? So what do they look like mixed together? I don't know if I've ever blended them together. Do we get a bonus color? If I do a scribble blend together, do they do anything interesting? What if I smear them together? What would they do? They kind of look like a mustard color when you smear them together. Kind of don't like it, but we may need to use it. All right. I'm gonna have pretty fingers by the end of all this. All right. That's so far what we have. Now with the glycerin, what I like to do is I take a piece of tape. You guys have seen me do this before on my YouTube channel here. This is a little bit of that same glycerin in a little dropper bottle. Looks like this bottle is a little bit sticky with glycerin. Wipe that off. Okay, then what I like to do is put a piece of tape down like this. I might put a couple pieces down. Okay, so there's tape on this piece of paper now, and this is Scotch matte finish magic tape. So what you're looking for if you want to try this trick is a matte finish tape. It becomes your palette. So you need, again, remember how I talked about that ball in the tip of the pen? You need a matte finish tape because it will engage the ball and you'll be able to scribble onto it like that. And then what we're going to do, Steve, would you mind grabbing me a little paper plate? I forgot to grab that.
Sure.
Thank you. Then what we're going to do is take the glycerin and put it on the plate that Steve grabs me. While we're waiting, we'll just grab it off the tip here and pick up the ink right off of that tape. Thanks, Steve. And now when you paint with it, you can get a lighter, watered down version of that same color. So that's really going to help us with this challenge I've given myself, because we can get a tint, which tint means color plus white. This is going to give us a tint of the full strength color, because the white of the paper is going to show up through it. So that's a tint of the gold. Now let's see what a tint of the silver looks like. So I'm just using an all-purpose brush here. Okay, let's put some of the glycerin onto that paper plate, and we'll put some of the silver pen on here, and let's see what a tint of the silver looks like. Pick up a little of the glycerin. Oh, there's still some gold on that brush. I want to see it without the gold first, because we can always mix and try a mix of colors later. Oh, there's still some gold in there. Darn it. Oh well. So this is what the mix looks like. So those are the two colors together, gold and silver. Okay. Good. Now, let's use this water and actually clean this brush better. So glycerin is a humectant, and it's an ingredient that is in lotions and toothpaste. It's even in some of our food. It's a little bit sweet if you taste it. It's not harmful, but it's not good for you to like drink it. And a humectant means it attracts moisture. So that's why it works really well with gel pens. Gel pens are a water-based product. And when you mix the glycerin with the gel pen, you kind of slow down its drying time, and it allows it to blend and do interesting things. And because it's not water, it doesn't break down and hurt your paper as much as a water-based or just straight up water would do. That's why I like to work with it. Okay, this should be much cleaner now. We should get a straight silver. Okay, we'll go right here. There, yeah, that's our silver. Okay, so those are our basic colors we're going to be working with. So we can do full strength and then diluted colors and mixes. That's what I've got. That's what we have. I kind of like that mix. It's interesting. All right, cool. Okay, let's flip to the page I picked right here. Think about the plan. do I want one color dominant, like silver? And then that might help if I do one color dominant and then have the gold be the accent color. Kind of like that idea. Okay, let's do that. Let's have silver be my mother or dominant color and gold be my accent color. Okay, so let's start. We've got like a motif right in here. So let's start by coloring these like teardrop shapes in with silver. I also have a couple other tools to show you that we may try here along the way. And the first tool, I'm actually going to try it right away, is this one. It's a new one to me. It's by Master's Touch, which means I picked it up at Hobby Lobby, and it's a rubber tipped brush. They make them, all kinds of brands make these. So this says it's a number 2. It looks kind of like a little spatula at the end. So what I'm going to do is take this little tiny rubber brush and prep the area with the glycerin, and then come in and flood these teardrops with the silver, because I want some of these areas to just be super, super strong with nothing but the color, so they're the full strength. So by prepping it with the glycerin, kind of helps the strokes of the pen to flow, and you get less streakiness. It'll just flow into the shape. Now, let's talk about an issue I'm going to have. And that is that these pens are super opaque. So if I go over the line art, it's going to cover the black lines. So do I just embrace that and come back and touch up the line art? I think that's my best bet. Why fight it, right? Let's just not fight it. Okay. So I have a question for all of you while I'm coloring these 4 little teardrop shapes. Do you have a favorite gel pen? Is it a favorite brand or a specific pen, like one pen that is your all-time favorite gel pen that you always reach for? So comment if you're watching us with the live premiere. Comment now. If you're watching later, comment below. Tell me what your all-time favorite gel pen brand or specific gel pen is. Okay, that looks pretty. Look at it shine. Oh, they're like mirrors that shine so much. So fun. Okay, prep this area. So you could do this without prepping. I think a bird just hit our window. That was that sound. Did you guys hear that?
Poor little bird.
Poor little birdie. Either that or a very, very large bug. What was I saying? Oh, I was saying you can color an area like this without prepping it with the glycerin first. But I find that just a tiny, tiny bit of glycerin prepped into the area will really hide your streaks and make you look like you're a pro. And it'll, especially if you've got some cheaper gel pens that don't flow really great, a little bit of glycerin will help with that. help those that ink flow out and hide your streaks. We teach all kinds of tricks like that in our workshop series about gel pens. Was that a cow I just heard out there? All kinds of interesting ambient noises. So Steve has been taking a whole bunch of photographs and videos and drone footage of our travels. So in a minute here, I'm going to have him roll some of that footage. Okay, but before he does that, let me show you what I'm going to do next. I think these ones out here should be the same because they're the same shape as these teardrops. If we're going to go along that, that means these 6 out here as well. So that means I have about 10 more teardrops to go. So I'm going to do that, and when I come back, all those teardrops will be filled in like this, and I'll let Steve run some of our photos and footage, and he'll put up his Instagram information as well if you want to follow us and the photos that Steve has been posting. So yeah, check out our Instagram and check out where we have been traveling. It's so beautiful. Okay, so I've got those silver teardrops in. You want to see how they look in the light? Ooh, it's so cool. So now this is where we're coming to the part that I was nervous about this project. Maybe Steve can help me think through this. Is the word contrast, is that my worry here with this project is getting, see how on this one I was able to get, you know, I planned and got silver against gold and then black so that things looked balanced. Do you know what I mean? Is contrast the word that I'm going for?
I think so.
And I'm worried about this. Like, there's no, like, black as a color. Black is the line, you know? So I guess white could be a color, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Use white as a color. Like white around those silver drops.
Right. Kind of as a negative space.
Yeah. So if I went into the middle with gold.
That's a good idea. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, and then white outlining the drops.
Okay. Thanks for your help.
You're welcome. I am a pro at this.
He's so good. All right, so that means we're going to, I think, paint with the gold back in here. I think that would be a good way to go. So we're going to use a brush. I've got a couple brushes to pull from, but the first thing we got to do is lay down a whole bunch of gold onto our palette, which I talked about earlier with the tape. Just put a whole bunch down because I want it to be a tint of the gold. As the background, this needs to be lighter colored, a tint, so that when I lay gold on top, the full strength gold, there's enough contrast, enough value difference between the two tones. The two, is that the right word? Tone? Tints? Values of the gold. I get all the jargon mixed up sometimes, especially when I'm thinking it through in my own head. Later, probably while I'm watching this, I'll be like, Jennifer, you meant to say this word. Okay, so I grabbed two brushes. I'm going to need a clean. I have this all-purpose brush, which is really a small, I think it's called a filbert brush. When they're flat like this, I think it's called a filbert. And then I've got this one too, which is just an angled brush. So if I need to do bigger areas, I can come in with this brush. But I think this teeny tiny little brush is going to be best for in here. So I want to make sure there's none of that silver in there. And yes, there are cows moving in around us if you hear cows. This beautiful place of nature where I was hoping to see moose and elk and deer. We've got cows. Okay, so on my little plate, I have the little pile of glycerin. So I'm going to pick up and get my bristles pretty wet with glycerin now. And we want to then pick up the ink and really mix it in because I want it to be a smooth color and a nice tinted version. So we could actually add quite a lot of the glycerin here to get an even tintier, an even more tinted down. There. Even more. Wow, English is difficult. Okay, but oh yeah, see, that's good. You get the idea. And we're just going to wash it in here and be painterly with it. I'm not expecting like a perfectly smooth, non-streaky lay down. You know, I want it to look good, obviously. I don't want big clumps of color, but I'm not going to be fussy. Painterly is what I'm going for here. So I'm going to do the whole background like this. Okay. Yeah, that's going to be pretty. All right, I'll spare you the time and tediousness this is going to take to wash this in, and I'll be right back. Okay, so during all of that background painting, I added some black tape. I also put down this cutting board. This is a cheap plastic cutting board that I picked up from dollar store, so it's something easy to take to the sink and wash. So that's what I taped to. This allowed me to create a border using the painter's tape. It's a low-tack blue painter's tape. You can use like washi tape or whatever you've got that's low-tack. And I've created a border, so I was able to add some of that tinted down gold along the outside as well. I think it will give it a nice frame. It looks really soft and pretty. I'm really excited to see the full strength gold against that tinted gold. Speaking of gold, I cannot believe how long this pen is lasting. That is impressive. Well done, Uniball. Okay, so now we need to decide what to do next. There's two places, actually. Well, one place that was confusing here. I could have kept the gold going down along into this motif here, but I decided to stop it. It's a little odd. I may or may not come in and continue the tinted gold into here. We'll see. For now, I stopped it there at each point, and then also here, it's a little bit odd. So I have a couple choices. I could come in and add my own line work. I got lots of ideas. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, so that whole painting process went pretty simple. Everybody always asks me, what about the glycerin? Does it dry? Does glycerin dry? Yes, it does dry. It's already dry there in the middle. It's good to go. We can go right on top of it. It's awesome stuff. Great to work with. And no, it doesn't soak through, especially when you're working on high quality cardstock like these books are printed on. Awesome product to work with. Okay, so now I think it's time to do some high strength gold on top of this. And I'm thinking all these dots are gold. That's what I was thinking. So let's go in and see what this is going to look like if I do all the circles in full strength gold. Because they're so small, I'm not going to worry about prepping at least the little ones with glycerin first. I'm just going to go straight in with the pen. If the circles get bigger though, like this one, I could consider prepping it with glycerin or just go for it. Yeah, it's going to be fine. They're still small enough that, and this pen is juicy enough that the strokes are just melting into each other. Okay, time to time lapse again. I'm going to run around and fill that up with gold dots. Okay, so I've made a whole lot of progress. I've done some of the tinted down silvers, and then I did some of the smear blends around the whole center medallion area. I really like how that looks. I did some two-tone scribble blends here with the gold and the silver here and here. Added some little doodles with the gold. Lots of stippling going on all over. And I think I mentioned, I can't remember where, I did the smear blend around the whole thing. Yeah, I said that. Anyway, lots of progress. Love how it's turning out. Let me move it in the light. Oh, look at that. It's so pretty. I cannot wait to pull this tape. So we were feeling like, I had Steve come over and look at it with me, like this white area was feeling unfinished. So right now I'm adding some stippling around the edges to see how that makes it feel. Steve's wondering about throwing in some gold stipples too. We'll see how it feels once I get going. I've got to mention though, can you believe it? I have not had to crack into the new packages. We're still working with the original two pens.
Oh, wow.
These two Uniball pens are amazing. I mean, I'm not sponsored by Uniball at all. I purchased them. This is my own opinion. These pens are amazing. They are shiny, they flow like magic, and boy oh boy do they last a long time. Such a fun pen to work with. So I am going to stipple around here like crazy. I'm getting tired, so hopefully I don't get sloppy. Usually when I get tired, I get sloppy. So, see? Sloppy. Shh, I did it on purpose. So, I'm going to fly around this thing with some stippling. And then I'm going to decide if I should add some gold. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like it feels cool. Like, usually warm colors, don't they move towards your eyes? And cool colors recede. So, I'm kind of feeling like the main mandala or medallion, whatever you want to call it, in the middle is coming forward.
It really does look like that.
Yeah,
That's
so
cool.
I'm kind of feeling like this may be the last step, stippling around the whole thing, and then we get to pull the blue tape. Favorite part. Okay, so hang in there while I zoom around here with some stipples. Okay, so now that the stippling's done, I'm just looking around for any spots that just need a little bit of a touch-up. Just being a little picky here. I still can't get over the fact that I didn't have to switch or open up a new package of pens. This is blowing my mind. So awesome. So we'll put links to these pens both in our Amazon shop and in the description of this video because I highly recommend these pens. The white is really a good white as well. I know at the beginning of the video I was really poo-pooing the white gel pens, but as long as you use them up really quickly as soon as you open the pen, you'll be really happy with the white gel pen. My problem is I just don't use them fast enough, and then I feel like it was a waste of a pen when you look at all the ink that you didn't use and you spent money on that ink. Okay, let's pull this tape. Are you ready for the beauty that is the pulled tape? Okay, here we go. Let me slide this over so you can see how pretty. Okay, so as I'm pulling this tape and you get to see this, I want to remind you to hit subscribe and the notification bell so that the next time we do a premiere or a live event, you'll get notified so you can be part of it. It's really fun to be part of those live events. You get to ask questions. I'll be on those chats so that I can answer your questions right there during the video. And then share this video with anybody that you think might like to learn more about coloring and art supplies. Look how pretty! And here it is, the piece of art, the challenge I gave myself to use only 2 pens, a gold and a silver on a coloring page. As I throw it around here, let me bring it up. And we gotta move it in the light. So these are the 2 pens right here. I did the entire page. There's Steve. What do you think, Steve? There's the pens.
Nice.
And let's move it in the light now. So you can, oh, look at that. That makes me happy. Okay, so just 2 pens and a little glycerin. And that's what we ended up with. Look at all the stippling all around the edges. Look at it shine. Oh, that's really satisfying. Yep. I'm quite proud of that. I honestly had some fears that I would fail this in some way.
No, it's really good.
I'm pretty proud of that. We got some good contrast, this good tints of the different tones. I don't know, would you guess that was just 2 pens that did that whole thing?
Probably not.
Yeah, I wouldn't guess that. I would think there's probably 3 or 4 shades of each color. So I'm pretty proud of that. So thanks for joining me on this coloring page. It was lots of fun, and I hope you all have a wonderful, colorful, blissful day. Bye-bye, everyone.